Right, hi guys, this is attempt number 2 for the no advantages run. Last time we ended up in a very glitchy environment, and then we ended up with a crash, which was just an emulator crash, unavoidable, as we walked into the dark spider forest. So hopefully we won't be getting that today. So same rules apply as before. We're not allowed to be higher level than a boss we're fighting. We are allowed to be higher level than a regular enemy. No elemental advantages at any point. They're outright banned, because that is the point of no advantages. And I suppose we just should get right into it. So let's just get going. So let's just get this out of the way as quickly as possible. This is of course a regular install of the game. I say install as if you install it, but unmodified. I haven't done anything to memory on this one. I've also removed all of the save files which we had before. I've backed them up onto a separate area. So hopefully we won't have a revisit to Glitchland, because I believe that was related to memory modification that I'd done as part of my investigations for potential hacks in the games, potential vulnerabilities. We may still pay a visit to Glitchland, hopefully not. But it's not the end of the world if it happens. We know that we can actually get through that glitched screen. It'll just look a bit wonky and a bit unsettling if it does happen. So we're just going to try and get through this as quickly as possible. So we're going to do the exact same things we did last time. We're going to actually, well, I say the exact same things. We're actually going to try and optimize it at least a little bit. Because that'd be nice.
He's run off, you know. It's all hearsay. It seems his puppy was stolen by a naughty woman, and he ran off. His son is still so young. Too young to become a cocoon master. Run away, will you?
Yes, hopefully when we use the lava gate key this time, the entire screen won't go into horrific glitchy mess. If it does, I'll just have to get another ISO file. Just outright wipe everything, possibly like get another install of EPSXE if I really need to. If I've done something and just like destroyed the whole thing in my investigations, that's fair enough. Directly modifying assembly code can do that. But I'd be surprised if I would need to replace the entire application. Yeah, so we're going to start off by doing an Arbitron glitch, get a second Arbitron. I suppose I probably won't bother leveling up both of them to fight Geekinak. We discovered last time it's not really necessary to have them both to level 5. We're going to use the Shulia trick to level them up anyway. And while we don't need them all at level 10 to take down the poacher, we really don't. It'll probably just be easier to do it that way. Killing the poacher with a level 1 Arbitron isn't the hardest thing to do in the world. There's a particular setup for it. And our Mardreg will be the right level to do the setup. Yeah, it'd just be a bit of annoyance in the fact that you'd have to kill Gigoat in a slightly different way on account of the fact that we don't have elemental advantage to quickly kill the Gigoat. But we could use that to get an Arbitron to level 11, or we just use Shulia. Obviously there's a big time save difference between the two, but the challenge is more about can you do it rather than doing it as optimally as possible. It is a bit upsetting that we lost the run in the Dark Spider Forest just before we were going to go fight Delphinel, or Earth Boss. The proper one, not the ghosts, because we killed all the ghosts messed up a wrong warp, go back to wrong warp back into the Dark Spider Forest and game crash on that wrong warp, which can just happen. It's not terribly likely, but whenever you're doing the run, it's always a possibility that the game crashes on that, and that's true whether emulating it or doing it on the original hardware. It can just crash at that minute. Just doesn't happen all that often. Come on, everyone, go to sleep. Just get through this part. I was watching some of the other NTSC plays that have been done before, and every time I just see Levant be really speedy from like what I'm used to. And like, look at him go, he's so fast. And the shop menus aren't laggy and slow. Because that's one of the most annoying things I find. Shop menuing is really awkward on the PAL version. They just feel really stiff. But then again, I like having the analog stick. I like having analog control. I can't remember what the difference is. Is it 16% slower? Something like that? I don't know. When I was first learning how to do the runs, I did find the exact number difference. Because it would give me an idea of... It's obviously not perfectly correct, because you have loading times and whatever else are different as well. But it was like a perspective of what would be equivalently on pace, and it's kind of... It just doesn't translate very well. You just know you're going to be much slower on the PAL version. Inevitably. But it's a very easy comparison to, like... It's very quick to notice the difference when you watch a PAL playthrough versus an NTSC one, because you just watch the opening scene where it pans down from the top of the watchtower to where Mabu and Levant are sat, and the difference there is still very noticeable. Like, even at that point, there's already a couple seconds between optimal runs.
Your father was a noble man. Coward. According to tradition, I hereby proclaim your coming of age. Your bride from this day forward. Treacherous girl.
Weekend's gone very quickly. Can't believe it's already Sunday. Alright, let's get killed again. I wish I didn't have to kill Time Bullet Starve everyone. I feel bad doing it every time. He doesn't deserve this. was thinking like maybe if you did like a no armor run for Levant, but I don't think it'd be meaningfully different from a regular run, really. You're just susceptible to dying at any point. You can't really switch into Levant at any point, and you could just, if you wanted to do that condition, you could just say no Levant as the rule. You know, you capture Arbitron, and that's all you got. You can't use Levant ever. Or I guess you could do no Levant during boss fights, which means no healing, no. Actually, that might be worth doing. No Levant during boss fights. I don't know how you'd frame that for that to like be, you know, a short name. But no Levant during boss fights is certainly an interesting one to do potentially. It's not relevant to the Kashidra fight at all, because you don't use Levant then anyway. But that might just come down to a. There's definitely a quick way to do that, like the easy way out, and it's to get 2 Arbitrons, 2 Mardregs, and you just double up. You know, use 2 Arbitrons to take down Tuturus, use 2 Mardregs to take down Delphinel. And then, you know, those 2 Mardregs, and then Arbitron will probably finish off Kashidra as well, really. Because you'd be relying on RNG at that point. You don't want, if you don't want to have to switch into line, you just need good luck against Tuturus. You could go for 3 Arbitrons and 3 Mardregs if you really want to make it easier to get those 2 out of the way, because Kashidra will be easy. Even if you died to Kashidra because you had 3 Mardregs in your party. You know, you die, you go back, you leave, you switch out, and you put in an Arbitron or 2. I'd probably only put 1 in. But you could do 2. Their accuracy is better than Mardregs, and that sometimes could be worth it. But yeah, I think you'd just do that, and then it wouldn't be really any different from the any percent run. You're just like, I hope Delphinel doesn't just repeatedly use Flesh to Stone on me, and it work. And with Tuturus, it's like, I hope he doesn't just Poison Tail and then drain my mana. Actually, I think it would be, I hope that Tuturus just doesn't drain my mana repeatedly. I think the Poison Tail wouldn't really matter. Because you need 6 hits on him, and Poison Tail takes 3 hits to kill after. Well, if you poison, it only takes 2. Oh no, the 3rd hit will kill you. Because it's a third of Arbitron's health at level 12. But I guess you could over-level them too. It just wouldn't be too difficult, really. Now, the more I think about it, the easier that challenge seems. Kikinag wouldn't be hard either, I don't think. Arbitrons would take down Kikinag easy enough. And Mardreg will make very short work of Poacher. See, I think that just becomes a more of the same run more than actually that interesting, so maybe I won't do that. If any of you guys ever have good ideas for challenges that you'd like to see me do, please let me know. Put them in comments or whatever. And I'll think about them for a little bit, and if I think they'll be interesting, I'll do the challenge. Don't have to be restrained to just how the game conventionally works. Because as I said, or as can be seen, I've done plenty of runs where I've modified the game code to enable a challenge. Anyway, we're finally playing the game. So we're going to capture this Arbitron. Then we're going to leave the forest, going to save the game, load the game, come back in, capture another Arbitron. Then wrong warp to the end of the Beetle Forest, go straight to the Dragonfly Forest. To get a Tefrade, because we don't want Mardreg. His elemental advantage is too good. We don't want any of those advantages. Advantages are unacceptable. Everything must be a fair fight between us and the minion. Aside from the fact that we have numbers on our team. So you can see, we can see that I've wiped the memory. Or our memory cards, I should say. I'm also happy to do Eternal Corridor challenges. I haven't done any as of yet because it's the Eternal Corridor, it's very samey. And capturing particular minions would be a lot of, you know, leave the forest, come back in the forest. But if anyone can come up with some interesting challenges for it, I'd be happy to do them. Something like the Eternal Corridor, but you can't fight anything other than the bosses. I would need to still have made minions though, that's the one thing. The problem I find with the Eternal Corridors though is that it's quite formulaic in how you can build a minion that basically can't be killed, or can only be killed by Kolner with his instant death magic. But Kolner can be defeated guaranteed by Levant. You just punch him to death. Very, very slowly you punch Kolner to death because you can't be killed by instant death yourself. And then the rest of the time you just... Or you just run, because you're actually not obligated to defeat those bosses. And then the only one that actually becomes a threat to you is Klagus. That's the only one that can actually harm your team, really. Oh, there we go, nice dodge on that Patimal. Can we get the other one? We never do. Oh god. Where is that Patimal running? Okay, we got it, because the Patimal was doing some weird stuff. Oh, moved too far. Ah, oh, it's fine. Hands are a bit crampy, I've been exercising a lot today. Fingers are stiff, not great for precision movement, or precision button pressing I should say. There we go. That should take us to Chorus's hut. And it does. Yes, we've proven our mettle. We dodged 2 Patimals. And made it to the end. We're not going to bother purifying our Arpatrons yet. We're going to go to the town shop, buy some Meta Mugwalls, and I'm going to buy a Shablicker this time. I didn't last time, but I will this time. I don't want to hit the story of creation now. Alright, we're going to sell the Valerian powder because it's just taking up space in our inventory. And we're going to buy 3 of these, and then we'll buy a Shablicker as well. Just because we do need our minions to fight Kikinak with, and having the ability to heal one of them would be quite useful. Namely, the Arpatron that we're going to use primarily. Because Lord knows Mardrag is going to miss. Oh, sorry, Tefraid. Tefraid missed a lot. Like a lot. In the last attempt at this run. We had maybe 6 Tefraid misses. It's terrible. Absolutely abysmal display by that Tefraid. So we right elements right now? Yeah, we are. I thought we were, but I wasn't sure. Right, he's going to use his abilities first. Unlike Mardrags who wait to be low health, Tefraid's just use it. For a second I was prepared to eat my words because I was like, oh no, this Tefraid specifically is going to act differently. There you go, that should be all the mana that Tefraid has. I've been working also on the script for guaranteed capture. I think, well, it turned out the last time when I was doing the demo, I hadn't quite gotten the memory address for the animation for the captured minion, as it were. Which is why we had a bit of glitching out on that end of the trades. But everything else worked correctly as seen then. I may do another demo once I've got it absolutely perfected. Oh, I should have used regular mugwort, not one of the metal mugworts, because we're going to leave as soon as we capture this trade. So there's no need to use meta mugwort over regular. He's not going to do enough damage to us. But anyway. But I am now also working on top of the guaranteed capture, I wanted to work on some of the other aspects that I mentioned in that video, or in that stream I should say. So the one I'm working on at the minute is Tuturus, which always uses fire attack. Doesn't use poison tail, doesn't use drain mana. I may also do Tuturus that's like if I find that to be relatively straightforward. It's not too complicated at the minute. But for demonstration purposes, what I could do is expand that so that he could use poison tail or fire attack, but he never uses drain health or drain mana rather. Because that would be an aspect that you want to avoid in the speedrun, is you don't want Tuturus using the drain mana. So guaranteeing that he doesn't would be a way in which you could cheat that speedrun. And it'd be less detectable if Tuturus still does use other attacks. And it's really not unheard of for Tuturus to do the same attack over and over again, even, to be honest. I've had Tuturus do 4 poison tails in a row. I've never had more than that, but I have had 4. But that's obviously less desirable than fire magic attack from Tuturus. I actually think like repeated poison tails it's not as bad as repeated drains, but the fight still gets quite hairy in that situation. Bit of a weird menuing mess there. Right, so our goal now is to get our minions to a higher level. So the easy way to do this, well, not the easy way to do this, is oh, I don't know what element these guys are. I think they should now be Mardreks, but they might still be Tefrades. I have no idea. Yeah, they're Mardreks. Okay. We can't defeat a Mardrek. We actually can't really do that right now. We can use Levant to defeat a Mardrek, but I would rather not. So I'm going to flip the element. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to use Levant. We aren't necessarily going to fight this Tefrade right now. In fact, I think we won't. What we're going to do is we're going to walk past him, and we're going to have Levant 1v1 a Tralco. That's what we're going to do. If there is a Tralco here. Is there no Tralco here? Is it just Tefrades? There's a Tefrade to the left. Seems like there are no Tralcos here. I'm going to assume this is a Mardreg up here as well. Oh, sorry, a Tefrade, yeah. Okay, so no Heralcos. Or Tralcos. Okay. There should be one in here then? Yeah, there we go. Okay, please be a single battle. I don't know the fight layouts for these ones. Okay, it's Tralco. So we're going to have Levant 1v1 the Tralco. Tralco's probably going to use all its mana on us. And then we're going to kill it. Maybe I shouldn't have switched the elements yet, because I could, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to think too hard about it. Jade Cocoon has enough mana to do that 4 times. Once the truck goes out, we can switch in an Arbitron and go straight up to having a level 4 Arbitron, who would then be able to defeat a Mardrag, which we'll get on the when we go back. We then have the ability to defeat that Mardrag with our Arbitron, which we can then use to get Artafrayed to a higher level. And then it'll be a matter of defeat one Tralco, or one Heralco, and then one... Oh, okay, I'm going to heal Levant here. These guys can get double turns on us. I'm pretty sure it should still have one more go of its magic on us. If it doesn't use it, I don't care. I just think it should have one more. 24 to 17, so 7. So 10-3, and then any attack should... There's the double turn that Tralco gets. So 10-3, and then Arbitron should be able to finish that off. 3 damage, he should be capable of. I feel like Tralco should have one more. Oh, 2, he did 8 that time. Well, even better from our perspective. I feel like Tralco fully healed. Yeah, I was hoping that we'd get... I suppose we're going to have to fight the Mardrag in the way here now. Because you can't go around him. Yeah, because I want level 5, really. Which should be easily achieved by just fighting one Tralco. Or one Heralco. Heralco is easier for Arbitron. And Tralco is easier for the Tefrade. But it seems that we only got double battles left with them. I can think of one other place where you can encounter Heralcos, but I don't know if they're alone. Which is kind of the important factor there. So we'll just beat some Mardrags to death, I think. One level 5 Arbitron, probably enough to take down Kikinak, to be honest. So you did a lot of maneuvering there to try and encounter another Heralco and then just didn't. Or at least we encountered a doubles battle Heralco, which I don't want to deal with. I don't want to fight that. How much health does our Arbitron was basically unscathed in that fight. Yeah, we'll fight this one. We picked up that Shablicker. We'll just use that to get Arbitron to level 5. Well, actually, if we can avoid using the Shablicker, that would actually be very useful during the Kikinak fight itself to heal up the Arbitron. Last time we didn't have any healing items or anything like that, so when we fought Kikinak, of course, we had the Tefrade and 2 Arbitron, and they were all level, I believe they were all level 5, except maybe one of the Arbitrons. And then Tefrade just missed repeatedly, which made it really annoying. Really awkward. I do need to be aware here that unless Arbitron gets theirs, the double turn. That's what we needed. I was like, the Tefrade is going to start using its ability on us, which would be bad. But that's fine, because now Arbitron's gotten the kill. We got a level 5 Arbitron, which is what we wanted. We are going to need to get into at least one fight and run away from it, so we'll do that on the... not on this Mardrag, but the Mardrag on the other side. They're both they're both easily dodged. Like, easily dodged. You don't even need to, like, pull the other... You can pull the other one further out and then dodge it there, but it's quite easy to dodge even up close. You stay on this side and then you go around like that. Well, not like that, but you stay to the right. I didn't really want to... I made the mistake there of going back far enough that you go onto a different screen, but it's not a difficult dodge. I did a terrible demonstration of it, but you can see that if I was correctly wide... We're going to need another encounter. If I did stay wide there, you can see exactly how that would have worked. We'll fight this one. Just want to get that health back up on our minions. There we go. Health obtained. Full health Arbitron. We'll use a regular Mugwort on Levant before the fight. I don't want to spend too much time in these early forests leveling up minions. When I know as soon as I clear this forest, I'm going to do the Shilia strat to get them to level 10. So minimal level to clear Levant is all that's required. I'm of course going to pick up the seal items, not for their usage, but for the money it will generate. Oh, and we will equip Levant with the Silver Crown, because magic defense... Oh, I should heal him. While not absolutely critical to us, It's not like Kikinak uses any magic. It's nice to remember to do that before we go fight Shilias. Alright, let's see if we can get this wrong warp. That feels off. I don't like how that feels. That feels early. Why? I'm always wrong. Always wrong. Pick up the Dragonfly Warp that we aren't going to use. Because why not? Whenever I feel iffy about them, it's right. And whenever I feel it's right, it's wrong. It's an eternal curse that I must suffer. Let's just edge closer to these spores. Gimme. Oh god. Yep, not picking them up. I'm mashing X the whole way. Oh man, why am I messing up the spores now? Maybe I'm too far to the right. Normally I would have no trouble picking up the spores, but both last 2 times I haven't managed to pick them up. Alright, send in the one that's gonna die. Send in the Tefrade. Whether it lives or dies, it doesn't matter. Miss. I'm hoping that if I say it's gonna miss, it's gonna hit. Because last time the Tefrade just missed over and over again. Tefrade. I didn't say he was gonna miss. I made the mistake. Double turn for Kikinak. Alright, give your life to get a little bit of extra damage on Kikinak, Tefrade. Yeah, you bopped him in the head. Now you're dead. It's fine. You'll be revived to get some EXP from Ashilia. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Now we'll send in the level 5. Who's not weak to the wind attack. And hopefully won't miss as much. We have the Shablicker. If need be. We just need our minions to not be terrible and miss. So long as they don't miss, we have nothing to fear. There we go. Do I get the other one to kill him? I mean, no, nah, we'll just use this one, it doesn't matter. There we go. I was like, if that one misses, we'll summon the level 1 one and use Vali. Just to guarantee the kill. Oh, great walnut, nice. I'll sprout the Calabash Herb as necessary. Look at the sleep spores and be sad that we didn't get to pick them up. Oh yeah, he gives us an ocarina. I had this thought the last time. Like, the Vance item is referred to as the flute of capture, and and Louis refers to it as flute music, but it's clearly not a flute, right? I didn't look this up. I should have looked this up, whether or not, because to my knowledge, flute is not a family of instruments, right? It's a woodwind instrument, right? Or whatever, or a brass instrument, you know, those kind of things. Not, is it a flute or is it not? Let's go back to Forest Gates. Is it like, are ocarinas a type of flute? I didn't think so, but maybe, I don't know. Oh, got some audio glitch going on there. That should stop as soon as we load into another area. Or at least I hope it does. Yeah, there you go, it stopped. Alright, we're just gonna wrong warp to the end of this. We're not gonna fight anything at all if we get away with it, if we're lucky. Luck, also known as me not being bad. But I am bad, so... Oh, that's early. That is early. Okay, no, I need to back up. This is still like the safest one to miss because you're right by the front door. Alright, are the snakes red? Snakes are red. Always a good sign. You want the red snakes. We don't like the yellow. The yellow snakes are bad in comparison to the red snakes. Red snake good, yellow snake bad. It doesn't really make any difference at all. It just means like whether or not you need to switch the elements to get the Shulia which you want. And we don't really care if it's a Shulia or an Asher, actually. Like, that also makes no difference to us. Because either way, Levant's going to tank the damage. The reason why we don't want it to be an Asher is so that the Arpatrons can fight the Shulia without it being an elemental advantage. That's the only reason why. Because we're not going to use the seals. That would be an advantage. Yeah, I apologise for the audio glitch we had there. There was like a solid 5 minutes where me repeatedly... Like, between every action I was taking and while the enemy was hitting us, I was, like, unplugging, replugging audio devices, looking up my settings and everything, trying to get the audio to come back. And then it just decided to come back on one of the unplug replugs. Really annoying when that happens. Alright, we've killed the forest. Time for Agghai to be sacrificed. And everyone to turn into stone. We're very close again to going back to Glitchland. Anyway. The important thing at the minute, specifically, is that we get... Oh, I will speak to Mabu here again. We don't have anything to purify, but we lost the Tefrade. So we're going to have a chat with Mabu here. Yeah, sorry, so, we're now going to level all of them up to level 10 against Shulias. It's not entirely necessary that we do it, and by entirely I mean it just isn't necessary that we do that. But it's just safer too, so I will. But like, an Arpatron and a Tefrade is all you need to defeat Poacher. It's just a little bit, it's just that little bit easier if you have another minion in the line. Well, yeah. Largely because we're going to need to make one of our Arpatrons be merged with some Pat Dregs afterwards for the Tuturus fight. And then, you know, having a level 10 fight Earth Boss Ghost is a little bit easier than killing Earth Boss Ghost with a level 1. Because we don't need, the third Arpatron is purely there. Sorry, the second Arpatron is purely there to fight, Kashidra. That's the only reason why it exists. The only reason why we got it is so that we'll have a fire, water, and an earth minion to fight Kashidra with. We're not going to use it to fight Tuturus. We're not going to use it to fight Delphinel, probably. As a backup, we might use it to fight Delphinel. I don't know. I don't know how strong Delphinel is, really, in relation to that kind of thing. But, you know, it's just... It's largely there just to fight Kashidra, because it helps us with making sure we don't have an elemental advantage against Kashidra. If Kashidra switches elements, by the way, well, actually, no, there's no way that Kashidra can't change into an element that gives us an advantage without us stalling out. Which we're not allowed to do, by the way. I'm not allowed to let Kashidra... Well, I'm allowed to let him, but I'm not allowed to hit him with it. And I hope that Kashidra doesn't hit us. Where I can't just stay in, like, a water divine beast and wait for Kashidra to switch to fire. and then attack it, going, oh, I didn't summon a water minion. No, that's not allowed. If for some reason we have to fight Kashudra with a water minion while Kashudra is in air, which we will, a lot, probably, because better than using the earth one, and we can't use the fire one. If Kashudra switches to fire and then attacks us, because Kashudra gets a double turn, that is the only excusable event where we haven't technically broken the rules, or whatever. Because we didn't have the ability to switch out in advance. Like, we didn't have the ability to do that. And to be fair, it shouldn't even happen. It would only happen really if the Arbitron is dead. No, if the fire minion is dead, so we have to use Defrayed, who is slow. So we forced to use Defrayed while Kashudra is in fire formation, switches to water, and gets a double turn. That's the only time I can really envision it happening. Because Kashudra doesn't really get double turns on Arbitrons. Not really. But Kashudra absolutely does against Defrayed. Let's pick this up, it's excellent liquor. Alright, this is the Shulia. And now Levant is going to tank its hits. Before we switch in a much weaker minion, which will then kill the Shulia. We've still got some of the early mugworts. Those are what we're going to use to heal Levant up. Our minions are all valid usages. It's a bit weird way to say that. It's valid for us to use any of our minions against Poacher 3, because Poacher 3 has an Earth minion and a regular minion. We couldn't use a Fire minion against Kikinak because despite Kikinak having no elemental affiliation, Kikinak takes extra damage from fire attacks. Don't ask me why, I just believe it to be true. I could even be wrong about that. It is purely based on the fact they use fire seals to defeat Kikinak and a common rumour on the internet that I've heard for years. I have no ability to verify whether or not it's true. But I have the ability to verify whether or not it's true. I won't verify if it's true or not. I can't be bothered. Anyway, the Shulia should be going down soon. Let's get the Defrayed, the levels first, and then we'll get the level 1 Arbitron, the levels next. God, Defrayed, you're so slow. Oh, maybe I get the level 1 one in first. Yeah, let's get the baby the level. 9 levels for the baby would be nice. Use the magic. Hopefully that does more than 4 damage. There we go. Or 4 or more, I should say. Yes, the baby Arbitron's now the big Arbitron. Yeah, look at him go. 11 attack up. Oh, I need to heal Levant. We'll just use 1 Mugwort. Because Levant should still live another Shulia fight on that much health. How should we go down to? We went down to 40, right? Worst comes to worst, I just use another Mugwort in battle and it's fine. Right, give me this Shulia. We just fight these 3 Shulias, then we go the other way. I could now also potentially use an Arbitron to tank the damage. I just won't because I can't be bothered. Bam. Not a lot of damage. There we go, 22. And now we summon the level 10. The Tefraid must be one of the ones that we level up to level 10 because Horn Water Attack is bad against Giggo. But Earth is a... well, it's not good, it's neutral. It's neutral because we're not allowed to use attacks that are good against it. We're only allowed to use attacks that are neutral against it, at best. Because it's still a straight up fight. We're allowed to be worse, we're not allowed to be better. Oh yeah, why did I do that? Why did I do that? It's a win me. Oh god. Brain not engaged, brain not found. Just talking about how we're allowed to be worse, and I use a weak attack against the wind minion. There we go, level 10 Tefraid. So now we heal up Levant again, we fight one more Shilia. We got Divine Guard, nice. Hell yeah. That's a very good drop for us, that's very, very good. That's our defensive needs just fully taken care of. And now we're yellow. We have to be yellow Levant now. So this Shilia is not going to do much to us at all anymore. And if we ever had problems with money, we can now just... we could sell the Divine Garb. I won't, because it's amazing. Divine Garb's really, really good. It's also faster than Riquette's armor, so we end up with a higher speed stat. I'm not going to use the mana on this Arbitron, because I wanted to end up with full mana. We're just going to use it to beat Shilia over the head a couple times. Like twice, and then switch to our smaller Arbitron. Bonk. Alright, level 6 Arbitron. I love how they put Shilia's in this. The fact that you can even do this, I love it. The XP route in this game is really cool when you learn it and you execute. You're like, oh, actually, that's really clever. It's a really good way to just skip out all as many unnecessary fights as possible. We got another audio glitch. Alright, there you go, Levant. That's the last bit of healing you're getting. Which is perfectly fine, because we aren't going to need to heal Levant at any point from this. Well, we will need... Forgot he was there. I always forget how close these guys are. There we go. I don't have sleep spores because I'm bad at the game. Don't worry about that. We're just gonna mosey on over here. I don't even think you need to dodge this guy this way. The only reason you even get the sleep spores is not because it's necessary, but it's because keeping them because you can run, and that is literally it. It's just so you can run at this point, because there's nothing stopping you from just, you know, walking right past them anyway. So whether or not you get the sleep spores it's not a massive time save. It's still faster, but it's not a massive time save. If it was, I'd be much more broken up about the fact that we missed it. Right, let's not hit the walls. How is our health and whatnot looking? Everyone's healthy. So that one, we have that Shab Liquor and that Special Liquor. That's going to be used for to Freud, who is going to be our primary damage dealer on the Gigoat. Hopefully. Hopefully, if he doesn't miss a million times, as they are wont to do. We have the same element as Gigoat. Gigoat, I believe, is level 11. Ow. That's a rude start. At least we match damage. That's a miss. Nope. Okay, cool. I'm going back to calling him out with missing. Miss? Oh, no. Do you know what? I'm happy that I went back to doing that. Regular attack? Oh, it didn't. It lived. We can switch to an Arbitron now. You've done a good job, Tefraid. Oh, now you're gonna die. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Tefraid. You didn't let me down at all. Oh, you didn't need to die. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Tefraid. I'm so sorry. There was no need. There was no need to do that, Gigo. You heartless wretch. I wish my Mardrakes put that much effort into winning these fights whenever I'm doing these runs. Give me, well, to be fair, crit against Gigoat, the only real difference between that from a Mardrake perspective is that if you have a bad Mardrake, you still, if you have a bad Mardrake, you still, kill it in 2 hits, is basically all the real difference there is. You just need 1 crit to guarantee, regardless of how your Mardrake stats got distributed. There we go. See what I mean with that one Arbitron could have just not been leveled up still? It's just to make the Earth boss fight a little bit easier. There you go, they went to level 12, which means that they were both level 11, so we were a lower level. And that's how you can verify that. So the question now becomes, are we off to Glitchland? We could be. We could absolutely be off to Glitchland. If we don't go to Glitchland, then we know that it was my memory address messing around, affecting a save file and then causing a problem with the actual game itself. If we go to Glitchland anyway, then I can replace the ISO file, and then if we still go and EPCXE if necessary, and then if we still go to Glitchland, then it's just a thing that could happen. I guess. Shouldn't happen that frequently, but I'm just preparing myself mentally for going to Glitchland. I hope we don't. I'd like to not. It kind of freaks me out. I don't like what happens. Alright, Glitchland? Looks like we're not in Glitchland. Okay, no Glitchland for you guys. Legit land only. Pick up the skeleton key. We probably don't need it, but if I can hold on to the Tendai that we get, which is 1,000 yen or yen. I don't actually remember if the currency here is like actually related to the real life one or not. If they use the same currency, if you get what I mean. Because a lot of the time in games they just change the name by like a letter, or use a made up one. Oh, come on, Navan. It takes forever to start letting me move him again. Alright, so first order of business is we're going to have to revive the Tefraid. Because we need it. We need it. We aren't allowed to fight Pat Dregs. With our Arbtrons, but we need to capture multiple Pat Dregs. So we're going to fight the first two swabs. We're going to fight the first two swabs in the Dark Beetle Forest, and we're going to kill them with Tefrade to get him to level 12. Then we're going to use level 12 Tefrade to weaken a Patdrag, and then we're going to capture it. And then we're going to try and capture 2 more Patdrags. Whether or not we can do that in a single visit or have to do it over 2 more visits, it's neither here nor there. We will level up our level 12 Arpatron to be level... Well, yeah, we actually don't need to. We don't need to level up the Arpatron at all. It's already level 12. The other Arpatron can stay at level 10. It's not going to see any combat usage until Kashidra. It was the one that took down Kikinak, so it kills the first boss we fight and it kills the last boss we fight. That's what well, it doesn't necessarily kill the last one, but you get what I mean. I'm just hoping we don't crash in the same spot. That's what I want to avoid. Are you serious? Audio's gone from the game again. What's going on? Are you serious? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So, the audio is cut out from the emulator, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mash the save state. Oh god, okay, I have only a couple frames to work with here. So I'm gonna have to like mash so that the frame gets registered in one of those gaps, and I need to see if I can get it to bring up that save state again. You can see me moving them in the top right there. Okay, that one. I need to make sure that it's saved where we are, so I can restore it after fixing. There's Glitchland. Glitchland save state. No, it didn't save it. Come on. Save the game. Okay, we're getting some frames back now. Game might be reviving. I'd appreciate if it would. Okay, yeah, we have a save state. So we have a valid save state. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pause the timer. I'm going to see if we can revive the game from this glitchy, laggy mess that it's turned itself into because an audio device failed. Jesus Christ, okay. Sorry about this, guys. This is why I don't like doing my actual runs online. Okay, will this work? There we go, we have life. So that's alive again, but we don't actually have any game sound. Because the emulator has decided to there we go. You guys hear that? Okay. Whew. We saved it. We saved the absolute mess of audio. I don't even know why that happened. No idea. One of my devices even thinks about moving while still being plugged in, even the tiniest bit, and then it just decides to kill itself. I would never want to have to do that during an any % run. I really wouldn't. And I know it happens way more frequently. In fact, it only ever happens to me when I'm streaming it. Of course, with the glitches / hacks that I'm constructing and whatever else, I'm going to have to stream them if I want to really do them anymore. To a certain extent. Because of the scrutiny I'm placing upon myself by even developing those tools. Or the fact that I have to prove them possible, I have to do them. And to do it brings suspicion upon you by nature of what you're doing. Not in that, like, oh, they're doing that, they must be cheating, but in the sense of, if they know how to cheat, then, and other people don't yet, necessarily, then, if anyone were to, it would be them, if you get what I mean. I don't know, you sort of get the idea. I would hate to get a world record offline and then go, oh, I can't really upload this without. Well, depending on the behavior of the enemies. But even then, I've said before how you could use tools to just increase your luck, increase your odds of particular things, which would be enough. I pressed down. Don't eat my inputs, game. Yeah, even then. We never used that shablicker, so I guess I didn't need it. Don't need those two. Okay, we're gonna have to sell the Tendai. Actually, do I? I have Riquette's Garb, which I don't want. Can I just sell the Riquette's Garb? Nice. I don't want to sell anymore. Bye. Alright, we're not allowed to use the little bird against any earth enemies, so we can't attack earth enemies anymore. That's important. With Levant. Because we'd have an advantage in that encounter. So, let's get some sleep spores. This is going to be for fighting earth boss ghosts primarily. 2 mirrors, that's for fighting the 2 bosses that use those effects. Let's get 8 of these, and then everything else is Metamugwort. Well, maybe not. Maybe that much is Metamugwort, and then we get 1 more of these. Just end up with just excesses of resources. Alright, we need to revive Artifrade. And hopefully I won't be addled with glitches and whatnot. I'm actually going to save the state before I do the wrong warp into the Dark Spider Forest. Not so I can just reload and keep doing the attempts, but in the event that if the game crashes, we have a state we can go back to. Won't rewind the clock. I will pause it if the crash occurs, but I'll then restart it as soon as we reload the save state. I wish I had a capture card on a console, honestly. Or like streamed a console game, or like a native PC game, just because these kind of issues don't really occur in quite the same way. I've never had audio cut out on me when I'm just, you know, playing a game. Where it just goes, now you have no sound, but with the EPCSXE and the like, it does happen. At least when I'm streaming. Maybe it won't happen if I... Oh, sorry, maybe it will happen with other games if I stream them. I don't think we had it happen once during Jade Cocoon 2, and that was 16 hours. Well, it wasn't 16, it was... No, it was 16, wasn't it? It was close to 16. That's a Suave, that's what we want. Hello, Suave. Yeah, so we're going to have to capture a level 12 with a level 3, a capture level of 3, which is going to be a little bit annoying. But by no means the end of the world. So this is going to take a little bit of time, because Tefrade's going to have to... We will actually use an Earth attack on it. Because Tefrade is going to have to kill some Suaves. I'm going to try and keep his health and mana up for the purposes of fighting those, Pack Dregs. You can tell how low Suave's speed is when even a Tefrade gets a double turn on them. I mean, Tefrades aren't they're not incredibly slow, right? They don't have terrible speed. But it's not great either. At least when it comes to fighting things at low level, it's not great. Like, I could over-level my Skarunga or whatever, and then it's not terribly slow. But it's still very slow in relation to what every other minion would be at that level. Unless I've tried to make its growth stats be such that I have a speedy Skarunga. Which would be very fair if you did that, to be honest. I couldn't say anything bad about you for doing that. You need to merge this. I don't know how this quite works, to be honest. Speed stat growth and whatnot. So I know obviously you have base minions, and the way I typically interpret it is you just merge more of the same minion onto it to get more of that minion's strong points, right? So you merge a bunch of Tefrades into Tefrades and you end up with a very high attack growth stat and whatnot. But I don't think it modifies the base growth stats, as it were, of that minion that much. I don't think you can get a Skarunga with like crazy high speed. I don't think it's possible. You could merge a million what are they called? Pataparas into your Skarunga, and I don't think it would make a difference. Really, like, it would be faster, obviously, but it wouldn't be fast. These guys are the right element. I might have to leave and come back. Yeah, they're the right element. So we need to capture 3 of these. Our trusty Tefrade, who is the same level as them, so it's a good litmus test for how many attacks they get. It says that they will have roughly 45, 46, 47 mana, but they won't have 50. Well, they won't have 55, which is what they would need to do 4... No, so 45 is what they need to do 4 of their attacks. 4 fire attacks, buffed fire attacks. And their Deva Agni. Or Devaragi. Yeah, I'm expecting blocks on these Pat Dregs. So that's 1. I'm actually going to block with Tefrade now. I'm expecting 4 of these. And they will just use them outright. They'll just keep doing them. I probably should have blocked from the start to just reduce damage to Tefrade. That is fine. We're now on the same amount of health, and Patreg is out of mana. So yeah, they have 45 mana, which you can sort of tell from the fact that, ooh, oh, I don't like that. I'm gonna need to punch him a couple times with the Levant. 38 health is kind of awkward for me to capture at. I want them to be below 10% health. I'm 9 capture levels beneath the Patreg. You know, it's not going to be an easy capture. Oh, don't crit Levant, that's rude. I have Mugworts, I'm not worried about dying to the Patreg, and I should get extra turns on it because Levant's so speedy. I think we're doing 8 right now, but I want to get him as close to 1 as possible because that's going to be what gives us a shot at actually capturing it. Okay, I can't hit it again because we were just dealing 8 damage to it. So we're just going to have to start trying to capture it. I can't summon Arpatron or anything. Like, I could have gone, oh, maybe if I summon an Arpatron and use a regular attack, maybe, but I think that would kill them. The level 10 Arpatron, that being. Yes, we got to struggle, but it is going down, so we got it. That was capture pattern 3. No, capture pattern 2. Capture pattern 3 is a failed capture. So is 4. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. We're now immaculate instead of rubbish. So we'll now use the Shablicker. Eh? Do we use the Shablicker? Okay, I think we should actually probably use a better one than that. We should use an excellent. We're now level 12. And we'll capture another Patreg over here. We'll use the Earth attack on Freyed, and then we're just going to block to get all of the rest of that nasty, nasty, powered up fire attacks out of the way. And then we're going to make an abomination. This is going to miss. Thank God. As long as I say it misses, it hits. Alright, there we go. Block. So Patrags don't have a smart AI. If their face gives anything away, it's the fact they aren't very intelligent. They will just use all of their mana straight away. Alright, and now it should get its double turn. So we use the last one and then it'll attack us regularly. Probably. Oh, no, we got a turn. So double turns next turn then? So this is probably the double turn then. You're just not going to get one on us? I'm so confused. The Patrick should be close to a double turn here. Alright, if it's just not getting double turns, I'm alright with that. The last one got double turns on us, didn't they? There is more variance with... Oh, there you go. There's where the double turn would have been. Because we switched and then he got a turn anyway. So if we'd attacked one more time with Tefraid, it would have then got a double turn. I'm still not entirely sure of how the double turn mechanics work. They're pretty consistent when it comes to the bosses. They have fixed stats, so it kind of makes sense. Alright, so we got 2, we need 1 more. We're now capture level 13. Tefraid's looking alright. We'll Meta Levant back up again. Just make sure. Ooh. So we're going to go through here and then we're going to go back. Because there's probably like a Suave or something, I don't know. Unless it's a Patreg. Yeah, it's a Suave. So we're just going to go backwards and forwards until we finish respawning this boy. Oh, he came back immediately. Fantastic. Exactly what you want to see. So we're just going to do the same thing again. It now doesn't matter if Tefraid dies to this Patreg. I do feel sorry for the boy. He's died a lot. He's died a lot for us. He's worked so hard and we just keep letting him die. Died to Kikinak, died to Gigo. If Tefraid isn't the one to kill Chosen One, I'll be actually kind of sad for him. No, he dies to every single boss. And then finally doesn't when it's the Chosen One. Won't die to every boss, because he's not going to die to, he's not going to die to Deterrus, because Tefraid's not going to touch Deterrus. Tefraid just isn't going to fight Deterrus at all. So, alright, I just need you to hold out for one more attack, Tefraid. Oh, you're gonna die, aren't you? Please no double turn, Patreg. Let him live! Good, Patreg. Get in the cocoon. Get in the cocoon. Looking good. That looks like capture. Is capture pattern 1 or 3? It's 1. Oh, there we go. We have obtained all the pat dregs we need, so we're going to leave. We're going to fuse one of our Arpatrons into a hideous abomination, who is then going to fight and kill Saturus for us. I think outside of the start we actually didn't fight any minions that were were lower level than us. But that was never a requirement of the challenge anyway. The level advantage thing only applies to bosses, which you kind of just do as a part of the course for the game, really. But it does mean we can't overlevel. Right, so this Arpatron is now going to become a hideous abomination. This was, of course, the baby Arpatron. Went from level 1 to level 10 to killing the poacher, and now gets to be absolutely horrific looking. We have lost out on some stat growth that you gain from naturally leveling them up. So the Arpatron is actually slightly weaker than it would have been otherwise. But that's fine. You can tell because we leveled it up twice there and it only gained like 2 attack, I think, if even that. So like we have a it's 4 levels higher now. It's kind of hard to tell between those two, isn't it? But stats didn't go up very much is all I'm saying, despite the fact that it gained a level. Granted, Tefraid gained a level and then only gained a stat on attack and defense. So maybe not, but I feel like I always feel like I miss out on stats when I level them up through merging. When I'm like building minions, as it were, for like eternal corridor purposes. Not that I really do that anymore, since I'm always just playing the game the regular way through to the end. I never level up a minion. Sorry, by merging, I always level it up one higher level than the minion it's going to be merged with, then merge it. Then if I'm going to merge it with another one at that level, I'll fight things to level it up again and then do it. We just need to fight Padraigs, don't we? Well, we don't want to fight Padraigs. We just want to run from them. The one over here is probably respawned. Yeah, he has. Can't be bothered to even attempt to dodge him, to be honest. We'll give it a go, though. We failed. We could have used a sleep spore, gone the other way as like incorrect any percent route, whatever, and then you guarantee dodge them all, but who cares? Who cares? I will, however, use a sleep spore here. And that's just to dodge this swath. And so I can run up past this other swab up here. And then fail a wrong warp and have to do it again. That's what we're setting up for here. Oh, that looks a bit early. Yeah, it was right next to it, but I'd have to back off. The swav might wake up again now, but like soon. Oh, there you go. That's a juicy spot there. That should be just about right. That looks correct to me. Nice. Very juicy. Right, so we got level 14 Arpatron. Sorry, it's a Abomination Arpatron, who's going to carry us through this fight. Now he wants me to banish the hatred from his heart. Did he say hatred or anguish? Or anger? I feel like he would have said anguish rather than anger, but I still think he says hatred. Sorry, hatred, not hate. Not however I just said the word, I have no idea. I couldn't do that intentionally if I wanted to. Alright, Deva's Mirror, our Fire Arbitron. This one. We're not allowed to summon the water one. It has an advantage against the turret, and that is not allowed. Alright, so Turris is going to get a turn on us. In all likelihood. Not guaranteed, to be fair, because we are a little bit faster than usual with Levant. And Arbitron's a bit high level. Oh, you poor abomination. Yeah, it's going to do very little to us. Alright, fire attack. Bonk. And then there's, we get a double turn because when we switch, the turret's got a turn on us, and we're pretty fast still. Okay, cool. Two poison tails. I'd like you to do... Actually, no, I think poison tail is the best thing for us. Until we're actually poisoned, at which point it's no longer what we want. I don't want you to do that anymore. I'd rather you not do that again. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, that was... I brought that upon myself. I did that to myself there. I should have been more specific in my request. How much would the Shab give him? I don't know why I got... There's no reason for me to have that. It doesn't do anything anymore. Sir's finally doing something that isn't Poison Tail or Draining. Wait, that's two out of 3 attacks he has. It's not a very good thing to say, is it? If he'd Poison Tailed again, then sure, I would have gone, now he's doing something else. Anyway. I appreciate it if you don't poison this Arbitron, you're like 1 hit away from death. Why do I open my mouth? Why do I say things? Oh, okay, you were 2 hits away from death. Oh, I got a double turn. Do I fire magic? I don't. Do I just bop him? I'm gonna bop him. Bop. And now my baby is poisoned. I can't believe you'd do this to me. Absolute bugger. How many hits do you think it'll take to kill Fire Boss? We got Fire Enhancement Arena. He's gonna block it. No, he's not. Oh, it's gonna take 3 hits. I'm gonna switch off Arbitron. Actually, he's gonna die. He's gonna die anyway. Oh, critical hits. I hate you. I hate critical hits. Well, we're now allowed to use the Water Arbitron. There's no advantage anymore. In fact, we do less damage with everything else now because the Fire Arena enchantment actually helps us. But that's mutual, so it's not an advantage. Alright, well I guess we're going to lose out some EXP. Lose out on some EXP for that. However, makes little to no difference to us anyway, because we're going to fight some Earth Boss ghosts to get up to level high. That's the official name of the level. The thing that annoys me is that I'm now going to have to go back to Ra to speak to her to get our Arbitron revived. There we go. How do you know about Mabu? Or is he just talking about himself? I think he isn't. I don't think he is, because he says fight for like the one you love and whatever. I was like, how do you know I love anyone? That was an arranged marriage. I didn't say anything about loving them. I didn't go, I want that one. And like the village went, well, we're good. We're a very old traditional one, so you get the woman you want. No, they went, there is one Nagi woman in the village who could possibly marry you. You're marrying that one. I could have hated her, and it would have still happened. Levant had no say in that outcome. Neither did she. So I think Chorus has got a very incorrect view, potentially, of how Levant actually... Well, okay, Levant does love Marbu, like, that's well established, but that's not the point. It's not the point. How does Chorus know is the point? Who told him? Who leaked? Was it Louis? He was in the forest. It could have been him. Did Louis spill the beans? It better not have been. I just noticed that on the promotional image, the Tralco doesn't look anything like the Tralcos in-game. Like, it's green and grey instead of, like... Wait, is its eyes blue? I don't think its eyes are even blue on that promotional image. In-game, their eyes are blue. The rest of them are pretty accurate. Though a lot of them, well... The Mardreg on it is, Oh, I forgot to use the spores again, didn't I? And now I have to go through these two birds, okay. But yeah, sorry, the Mardreg, which is actually a Patarade, on the cover, on the promotional art on the left there, I don't think you can ever encounter that colour of Mardreg. Or Frayed, I suppose, which is the family name, except Patarade decided to not be, which I believe is a translation error, is why Patarade is, like, doesn't match the family line name, as it were. Yeah, I don't think you can get a Mardreg in that red in the wild either. I remember on the box, though, so this is going to be very specific, on the box, the promotional material box, not promotional material box, on the box, the physical box of the disc, the game, the physical game. I'm good with words today. If you looked at, like, the demo images on the back of games, you know how they used to have an image of what parts of the game look like to give you an idea of what the game's actually like to play or whatever, with descriptions or whatever on the back of the boxes. I know that Mardreg was on that back. And it was impossible to obtain. I remember being annoyed about this as a kid. Because I wanted the red Mardreg. I was like, why do I have to get the yellow one or the green one? I want the red one. And you can't get the red one. Because Patarades are more pinky than red. And I was like, this is outrageous. I want the the red Mardreg. I also wanted Arbitron in different elements, but that's not implemented into the game either. You get different element for Tolkers. Can't get different. I wanted a yellow Arbitron. That's what I wanted. I wanted a red Mardreg and a yellow Arbitron. And I was denied both of those things. I don't know why I wanted a yellow Arbitron. I think just because I thought his skin texture would look nicer in yellow. I don't think there'll be, like, any advantage in the game to having a Mardreg of that colour. I just wanted one in that colour. Alright, so let's do this wrong warp. Oop, early. Oop, late. Late. Give me wrong warp. Give me the wrong warp. I know it's still called, like, the Hunter Transit glitch officially, but, like, in my heart, it's just a wrong warp. It's more, I suppose Hunter Transit glitch is more specific, because you're using the Hunter's Earring to end up in the wrong screen, essentially, but to me, it's just a wrong warp. Oh, was I late? Sorry, I was early, rather. I thought I was in the right spot. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. That's perfectly alright with me. It looked like I was far enough in. Maybe I had the angle wrong for which direction Levant was facing. Which matters more than you'd think it should. Matters a lot. The precise angle at which Levant is facing. When you're looking for... I mean, it makes sense, really, why that's the case. You're, Oh, the bird's back. Because obviously you're, like... You're wanting your next position of Levant when it's calculated to be in the loading zone in order for the wrong warp to work. So obviously it matters what direction Levant's facing, but there's a fair bit of give. Not an immense amount, but there's a fair bit of give on where Levant could be facing if you take a spot, as it were. And obviously the closer you are to the loading zone, so that your next step is in that loading zone, the more give there is in Levant's angle, or precise angle I should say. And the further away the less. I actually think there's a fair few spots you can be stood on, but like the amount of time you have to react to it is like a couple frames. I don't know how frame precise it is on the PAL version. I've never bothered working it out, researching exactly what frames you have to press. But I need to like use some task tools or something and find the exact amount of frames you have to react, where the wrong warp will successfully occur. But the fact that I can do it fairly consistently, I don't think I'm that precise of a player. My head is through the door. Let me in. Really? Okay. Okay. Case in point, not very precise of a player. If my head is rendering through the door, you should let me in. You should let me wrong warp. Okay, and I don't trust that side of the door. I'm going to try the other side of the doorway. Or the middle. I trust the middle of the doorway. But I do not trust the left-hand side. Because normally, what I'm visually looking for is Levant's model to be overlapping the doorway, as it were, so that I am partly through the door. Because that's an intuitive thing to look for when you're... how much damage does this do? Does 32. I should live 2 of these. Oh, it's doing the other attack. Okay, never mind. Now I'll die if it uses its magic twice in a row. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, sorry, where was I? Yeah, sorry, I'm looking for the visual cue of Levant being through the doorway, visually. And his shadow position, but his shadow position matters less when it comes to that particular one. Like, even though the shadow is, like, actually more precise, it's harder to identify where the shadow needs to be to go through. Like, the Beetle Warp Forest, I use where Levant's model is in terms of his head. I use his feet. Not his shadow, but his feet specifically for the Spider Forest Warp. And again, usually for this one I use his arms and head for this wrong warp. But I might just be having an off day. I don't tend to be too bad at this one, to be honest. Did I mess up any other wrong warps up until this point? No, I didn't, did I? Yeah, this was the first mess up. Yeah, you always get at least a few. But yeah, you can see, like, it's like on the middle to the right hand side, it's the hitbox is kind of big. It kind of extends outside the door. It's like that should be good. That should be good. There we go. And no crash. No crash. Oh look, he's in a weird spot. Look at it. The dragon was like miles in the distance. It was weird, wasn't it? All right, going up this way. Because we need to fight Earth boss ghosts. I love whenever you do that wrong warp and then the minion ends up like miles in the sky. Like, how on earth did you get up there? I think it's based on spawn locations in that next room. Like, it remembers where it's meant to put the minions, I think. Actually, I don't think that's true either. Because if you do the Moth Forest wrong warp, in order to complete soft lock %, God, you're horrifying. Then you often end up with like what are they called? I can't remember their names, but you end up with Scabarons, Patabarons, in the poacher room. So it can't be based on the next room, because if that was the case, there wouldn't be anything spawning in there, because in that room, nothing spawns there. And you wrong warp. The wrong warp doesn't actually put you in the wrong room, it just puts you in the next room and then the poacher disappears. That's like the only outcome from that course of event, that sequence of events. I'm just going to use regular attacks here to try and keep... okay, I'm going to have to use... It takes too long to kill him with regular attacks. I was going to say to keep his mana up for the next minion, but he's going to do way more damage now. Anyway. Alright, so that's one down. There we go, level 19. Very nice, we like a level 19. I'm probably just going to fight... I'm not going to level up my minions on anything else. It's kind of... There's kind of nothing nice to fight with for our minions to get up to that last level. I could. I'd have to... What I'd do is... to get from 19 to 20, you kill 2 level 18s, so that's going to be gyrals or spirals. It's entirely possible for me to grind out getting my minions to level 20, I just don't want to. I don't think it's necessary. We're not going to kill the bosses as quickly as if we did it optimally with, you know, Mardreg and Arpatron with advantage. It's like we're not going to use Mardreg to just kill. Sleep spore time. We're not going to use Mardreg to, because we don't have one, to quickly kill Delphinel. But what it will probably be is, Tefraid will go get Devored Mirrors, do as much damage as he can to Delphinel. We switch to Levant. We heal the Mardreg. Well, sorry, Tefraid. We switch back into the Tefraid. Tefraid finishes off. You're gonna have to take this fight. Tefraid finishes off Delphinel. Arpatron kills. And Arpatron. We have to be careful about this. Actually, I remember having a thought about this before. Didn't I want both Arpatrons to kill? I wanted both Arpatrons to kill Delphinel and then the Earth boss. I didn't want the Tefraid to level up from fighting the Earth boss. Because the Kashidra fight is going to come down to more to those two than the Tefraid, I believe was my reasoning. Because the Tefraid's going to take the longest to get any turns to act. Most of the turns are... The Water Arpatron absolutely does have to get. It is critically important that the Water Arpatron, at the very least, does get a kill on either Earth Boss or Delph now. Because that Water Arpatron is going to be active for the largest number of turns versus Kashidra. Like, the majority of turns are going to be Kashidra versus Water Arpatron. Because while Kashidra is water or air, my best option is to use the Water Arpatron. Because Earth Mardrake, sorry, Tefraid's gonna die. Tefraid's gonna die very quickly, and Fire Arpatron is an illegal move in accordance to our rules. So we're forced to use Water Arpatron. If Kashidra is air or water. During fire, we're going to use Fire Arpatron. During water, we're going to use Water Arpatron. During earth, we're going to use Tefraid. Then during air, we use Water Arpatron again, because that's the only way to stay neutral in the fight, is to use the Water Arpatron. If our minions start to die, that's where we're going to encounter a new problem, a new difficulty, which we will attempt to account for, but there's only so much you can do. Sleep Spore again. Like, I can't really safely use Levant to revive a minion. You can. If Levant is on full health, you can, and a minion just died, you can use Levant to Tendai a minion. And then switch into the minion. Right? Like, that works. That is a perfectly safe transition of actions. But switching into Levant isn't intrinsically safe, because Kashidra, while they can't crit, can kill Levant in 2 hits. And if Levant is on full health in 1 hit, we have the Divine Garb, which helps. That much is certainly true. So it's safer. But to switch into Levant, and then to heal a minion, and then to heal Levant, not necessarily the safest of moves. Levant will probably get double turns on Kashidra, though, because we have a very high speed stat. I don't think it's unsafe. Yes, boss minions can't critical hit, but the bosses themselves, so Chosen One, can. Earth Boss himself can. Fire Boss and Wind Boss, they all can, but their minions cannot. I think that was done to, like, frankly, to balance it. Like, there's not much else I could say about it. It was because I think the game would feel very unfair if Tuturus or Delphinel critical hit you. More so Tuturus, not so much Delphinel. The Wind Boss, which I think is objectively the hardest, I think Satarian is de facto the hardest boss in this entire game. By, like, a not insignificant margin. Which is why we like to skip them. Like, you can still, there are still speedrun strats to defeat Satarian. Obviously. Whoops, I didn't mean to switch to Levant, I wanted to switch to my level 10 Arpatron. Speaking of which, we're not allowed to smack Earth Boss with Levant. Oh, sorry, we're not allowed to smack Delphinel with Levant, because it's a wind elemental attack. We're going to lose a turn, probably. Unless we just kill him. Nice. Alright, time to attempt the last strong warp. Bloody Garb, useless. Absolutely useless. What is the stat difference between these two? Okay, we didn't lose any attack stat, that's nice. That's good. The merge wasn't an issue then, good. Sorry. I'm having to think. Yes, we can't hit Delphinel. Oh god, we can't hit Delphinel with Levant. But do I want the Fire Arpatron to get the level, or do I want Afraid to have his time in? Do I want Afraid to have glory? Is what I'm saying. Essentially, because he's one glorious fight away from. Actually, I'm gonna. Oh god, go into menu. I was like, oh, I could use Sleep Spores, but I actually was gonna just heal Levant. I was gonna save the Sleep Spores for once we get to the backside of the Spider Forest. I don't know if it's actually that meaningful for us to save it for there, but I want to anyway, just in case. That reduces the amount of fights we have to take by like 1 or 2. I think, really, it could reduce it by none, in fact, but I would simply rather do it. We have an excess of bitter mugworts, so I'm not worried about fights. I just want to make sure that I don't get... I want to get hit by as few things as possible, but I don't mind if I get an extra encounter or 2. Can I get this one to go around this way? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Dodge everything. Attempt wrong warp. Here we go. Are we getting a clean wrong warp? No. We messed it up. No is the answer. Now this is exactly what happened last time, and then we wrong warped back into the Spider Forest and the game crashed. So for precautionary reasons, I am going to save a state just before doing the wrong warp. So that if we game crashes, we don't just lose the run like last time, and we can actually continue on. I don't like needing to use a save state to continue the game, but we've already had to do it once here, because audio glitch has decided to nearly kill us. And by nearly kill us, I mean like really slowed the game down to a snail's pace. But it's nice to know for future reference, though, that if I do manage to get a save state saved by mashing the ever-loving hell out of the save state button, that when you reload the state, the game does continue as it should. Granted, I had to I had to restart the entire emulator just to get it to work. I completely rebooted the game, loaded the save state. Part of me wants to make an end screen out of Glitch City. Oh, sorry, the glitch or glitchy forest. I don't know what to call it yet. Glitch Town. I don't know. Just because the screen was so messed up. It would work quite nicely for the technical demo videos, but not necessarily for the regular speedruns. But I don't make end screens anyway, because I just stream. We're not about that level of effort. I put a fair bit of effort into doing thumbnails or whatever else for the purposes of the streams and whatnot, but oh, I missed that, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Cool. But the game crash? Okay, no, the run continues. Alright. Come on then, let's get this wrong warp correctly this time. Please. Yangle looks a bit better, but I don't know about his feet. No, it's early. Oh, I don't know about his feet. Oh, God. Oh, dear. This is actually the final boss of Jade Cocoon speedrunning. It's the wrong warps. It's the last 2 wrong warps. They're the final boss. In an any % run, I suppose it's that, followed by, I want to say, the tree branches that you run across. That's the other final boss. That's the second final boss. That's phase 2 of the final boss, is running away from them. The Delphinel fight, fairly consistent. Oh, I guess the third final form would be Kashidra Water Phase. Kashidra Phase Speed and Kashidra Water Phase. Because that's what makes or breaks your run. Is... God, a lot of the pressure, like the high stakes pressure is right at the end of the run. Which I guess is fitting. But it's... You fail the second Spider Wrong Warp, that's like a minute or two off your time. Because you... And it's worse because you actually succeeded the first one. So you had to go through that loading screen, go up, set up for the next Wrong Warp, and then mess that one up. Followed by... managing to get your escapes against the Gyral and the dragon. I can't remember its name. I always forget their name, the family name. And if you're really unlucky, there's the Patapara fight, where it's the dragon and a Patapara, because that will kill you instantly, basically. If the Patapara gets a turn, then you're dead. Like, if the Patapara takes an action, then you're dead. Pretty much always. Because the dragon's going to use magic, probably, which will take off 40 of your health. Then the Patapara is very likely to critical hit when it acts. Can we please just hit these wrong walls? Okay, first one, success. No crash. Okay, we got a crash. We're gonna reload. There we go. Do it again. We got a crash. Oh, this game does not want this run to happen. It really doesn't. My emulator's like, nope. Not happening. I don't want you to finish this run. I'm going to give you audio problems all the way throughout. I'm going to lag the game out, and then I'm going to crash on the dragonfly. Wrong warp. There we go, that's correct again. Please don't crash again. I'd like to know if we can find like predictable elements for whether or not it's going to crash. Or is it just going to keep crashing every time? Interesting. Okay, I guess we're going to reload the emulator. That's all I can think to do. I won't bother pausing the timer because this is not the end of the world. Let's just load back to where we were. And we continue. Let's try this again. If it keeps failing, we're going to load a few screens. And then do it. That's all I can think. There we go. Oh, dearie me. Nightmare, isn't it? Okay, now let's see if we can get this wrong warp finally. So much trouble with the emulator. Okay, like, we're so close to it. I mean, I might still be off, to be honest. The foot doesn't look right. The foot doesn't look right. Oh, thank God, okay. The steep spores are reducing the amount of encounters because now we can walk past the spiral, which is kind of hard to dodge otherwise. So hooray, it was worth it. So I looked at that dragon as if it was facing the other way for a second. I thought it was like, that's a weird spider-looking thing, isn't it? Yeah, so in an 80% run, this is the other final boss. Because you have to, Oh, am I facing badly? You have to run away from this. And this is normally alright, this particular variant of the encounter, but this could be a Trigaran and a Patapara. Or a Dogpara? I don't know which. I think they're Dogparas if they're the water variants. Oh God, come on game. Am I going to have to heal Levant? Because I'm going to get battered by the Trigaran next turn. Oh, don't may die. I'm just going to kill them. I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna because I have the healing items. I don't need to run away. But yeah, so it's this escapes. If those escapes fail, your run's sort of over. And by sort of over, I mean it just is. You're dead. You lose way too much time. You're at 1 health now. You can sort of save it, but you're never going to beat a record doing it. Then it's, yeah, so it's the double wrong warps because the first one may crash the game, just outright, which sucks. I don't think that needs explaining for why that sucks. Then if you miss the second one, you lose 2 minutes. Then you've got to traverse the branches, where if you fail to escape, your run's dead. And then the final form of the final boss, if you get a bad Kashidra, like a bad Kashidra, where your Mardreg like misses repeatedly, because it's not incredibly likely that your Mardreg sucks and misses all the time, but it could happen quite reasonably. Or your Kashidra is very fast with switching phases. Because Kashidra will take 1 to 3 turns to switch elements. 1 attack, I should say. It's like switch element, attack, switch element. Or switch element, attack twice, then switch. You get the idea. Which also sucks. And if that happens quickly, Kashidra will go to the water element, which is the worst. Because the water element is where Kashidra will either use a laser beam. Oh, this is the fight I don't like. It's not the worst one in the world. The worst one is if you end up with a dog parry, because it's the only triple fight in the game. Yeah, it's dog parry. Anyway, is that Kashidra may heal during the water phase, which you really don't want. You don't want Kashidra healing. It wastes a lot of time. It's not the end of your run if it happens. Okay, we'll use. I was like, oh, maybe Shab Liquor will actually do something. It's not the end of your run if it happens, but it's certainly. Sorry, I was just. So okay, so we're using Tefraid and this Arbitron here now to kill Delphinel, and we want. I guess I don't care if the Tefraid or the Fire one get the kill on Delphinel, but I want the Water one to kill the Earth boss. Sorry. Oh, and we can use all the minions for this fight because we don't have an advantage against Delphinel. We don't have an air element. We can't attack with the Vant. It's not the end of the world if Kashidra does heal, but again, it wastes a lot of time. If your Mardreg is just being really bad, then it could actually kill your run. But the most nerve-wracking part is the double wrong warps and then the escapes. But obviously, the closer you get to finishing the run, the more your nerves go, you know, crazy, and the more pressure you feel. Like Kashidra Kashidra hits the water element. You're like, oh god, oh no, it's gonna all come apart now. And that's, you know, even though it's not necessarily that likely that Kashidra does it, I don't know what the AI percentage rate for Kashidra 2 heal is. I would say it's like a quarter, a fifth. It's not that high. I'd say that much. It's not that high. Kashidra typically does double laser beam then switches to Earth. But whenever I say that, I know that Kashidra's gonna heal. I really don't want Kashidra to heal. Like, I'm obviously feeling the pressure now because while I'm fairly confident that we can defeat the Earth boss, I am very nervous about Kashidra. And it's often unwarranted, or appears unwarranted, because, you know, we have a good Kashidra fight, and Kashidra just goes down nice and quietly, as we want her to. And it's just the fact that if Kashidra did heal or was bad for us with RNG, there's such a wide variety in how hard Kashidra can be, just based on RNG. You can obviously account for it, and you do, by, you know, the speed of your minions and whatever else. Ah, that did a lot of damage. Double turn? Nice. Oh, not another one. Okay, I'm gonna have to heal the Tefraid. I don't have a choice here. That Earth attack actually does a lot of damage even to Levant. So I'm going to be hoping here that Delphinel does not do that. Or that I get the chance to switch straight back into Tefraid. So I'm not getting that. Okay, that's fine. Vasher Stone I'm fine with. Levant will now die, probably, to a empowered Earth attack. So the Earth magic attack will probably now one-shot Levant if it makes contact with him. And even if it doesn't, because we have that increased magic defense from our Divine Garb, which we got, I don't want to risk it anyway. I want a nice, comfortable kill on Delphinel. I don't want to be taking risks. Oh, again? Do something else, Delphinel. Use Flesh to Stone. I'm now necessarily aware that if he does any other attack... Delphinel! Delphinel! Okay, you know what? I have a Tendai. I have a Tendai, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Okay. We paid off. I was like, maybe I get a double turn, but really, if Tefraid dies there, I can revive him. The Arbitrons get the EXP, it's fine. Tefraid probably is the least valuable one to get that EXP, but it's way easier for Tefraid to get that kill than for the Arbitrons to. But I want this Arbitron to kill Earth Boss. That is important to me. Because when it comes to the Kashudra fight, we're going to get one turn with our Tefraid, if even that. And then Kashudra's going to become air, we're going to have to switch in Water Arbitron. And there's going to be a lot of damage. It's going to hurt. We got another Tendai, that's actually very good for us. Right. Hooray on advantages on being on these versions of the game where we have the opportunity to heal between the last two fights. Yeah, we've been addled by emulator issues this whole run. So, we're hoping for a non-healing Kashudra, please and thank you. And also, I would like Kashudra to miss while being in the air element, please. Our minions are already going to take a lot of damage from Kashudra. Kashudra's entire fight is just an expression of the elemental advantage system, primarily. Like when we were doing the non-elemental run, even though we weren't using elemental attacks, it was still an expression of the defensive elemental advantage of, so long as I stay in an advantage which takes reduced damage from Kashudra's attacks, then I can heal enough to stay in the fight, and I can outlast him. We are not getting that now. We just have to beat... We have to beat Kashudra while Kashudra is doing full damage to us. At all times. And all of Kashudra's attacks are empowered because of the arena element advantage that Kashudra gets. Well, I say... It's not an advantage because we both get it, but... This is primarily expressed through the wind element, where we're going to have a water minion which isn't getting empowered attacks, attacking an air minion which is using empowered attacks. I can block, but if I block, that increases the likelihood that we have to deal with a Kashudra that heals themselves. So I have to make a decision about whether or not I want to block while Kashudra is in the air element. And the answer is probably yes. I probably do want to, on that element. Levant will live one empowered air attack. Or at least one empowered physical air attack. I don't know if Levant lives an empowered air magic attack. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. So yeah, we get the switch into Cassandra immediately. Straight into Cassandra, who will start off with Earth. So we switch into Tefraid. And if we get a turn, which I believe Cassandra will go first. Oh, no, we go first. We get an attack on Cassandra. What's the... Okay, yeah, Cassandra does a lot more than this. And immediately switches to air. So now we're going to have to switch to our water minion. Because we can't use fire. And Tefraid will die immediately. And we're going to defend. We're going to stall out the air phase. I know this means we're losing out on damage, but honestly, I'd rather be cautious. Okay, fire Cassandra. We only took one hit on air, that was good. So fire Arpatron. With your goofy face. This Arpatron is weaker than our other two minions in terms of level, which you can see there how it shows. I don't know how many turns we're going to get. Only one action in water as well. Switch to water Arpatron. It's going right so far, but Cassandra could heal here. And the laser will do a lot of damage. That's a heal. And laser or another heal. Laser. Okay, still water. Could be another laser. We've undone most of the healing. Another laser. This should be... If it's a fourth laser, then fair enough. I've never seen Cassandra take 4 turns. There we go. I've never seen Cassandra take 4 turns in one element. Okay, back to Tefraid. We're going to have Levant tank a hit so we can heal. Nope, that's not good. That's going to be a lot. Okay, we're going to need Levant to tank an air attack. Because we need to heal. The water Arpatron needs to be healed. It just has to be done. So I'm gonna hope and pray here that Levant will live an attack from Cassandra. And that Cassandra doesn't get a double turn, because that would really suck. We can't fully heal the Arpatron, but we can get enough of its health back that it should be fine. So this is gonna hurt. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, we're alive. We're gonna have to switch to water Arpatron to block. Because again, we can't use attacks. There we go. Okay, it went to fire. It's probably gonna attack us now. No, okay, cool. So we could have gotten a free attack on it, but I didn't really want to risk it. On average, it takes 2 actions in every format. It's taken mostly 1, to be fair, but we saw it took 3 in water. It took 3 actions in water. That would have been a double turn. That's probably why we got that happening. Okay, so... Okay, double fire. We might have a death here. Okay, we got a death. I'm going to switch to Tefraid. This may be a little bit wonky. If Cassandra would ever use an attack on us where where it's at a disadvantage, it's now unavoidable on our part. I'm hoping we get a turn here so we can switch to Water Arbitron. We don't have to deal with that. Okay, cool. So Water Arbitron here. All it's got to do is punch the Kashidra once. Nice. And now it's Chosen One versus Arbitron. This is the exact same way it normally ends in an 80% run. Water Arbitron with Enhanced Water against Chosen One. It's 2 hits to kill. If we make contact in our next attack, we win. And we've done the challenge. Nice! I pressed the wrong button. I pressed pause instead of end, but whatever. Doesn't matter. We did it. And to Water Arbitron go all the spoils for killing both Kashidra and Chosen One. And sadly, Fire Arbitron is sad and level 19 and dead. So there you go. Water Arbitron, who killed Kikinak, then got left behind, came back to kill Chosen One at the end. I still feel bad for Tefraid. Just died against a lot of bosses and then was sort of just left alone. Tefraid killed Delphinel without dying. I mean, I did say I don't care if he dies. It's a little mean of me, given that he keeps dying to everything and I keep being a bit wanton with his life. But there we go, that's Jade Cocoon, except without using any elemental advantages in any fight. And no level advantage against bosses either. We had level advantage against a couple of enemies, but I don't know if you call that... I guess you call it an advantage, but it's not an advantage in the way that the rules meant. Although the challenge was set up. I couldn't go like... No elemental advantage would be a bit long of a name. And didn't encapsulate the fact that I didn't want to overlevel against bosses either. Well, the Annihilator didn't want us to do it. He decided that, you know, we're going to crash at every opportunity, we're going to slow down, we're going to give you audio problems, we're going to put every possible roadblock in your way just to make your life harder. Regardless of the fact that you're already doing a challenge to make the game itself harder anyway. Never mind that. We did get a Kashidra heal, and you can see that it made it a little bit tougher. We would have that Kashidra would have died in Fire Phase if it didn't heal itself. If not even earlier. Sorry, I can't even speak properly anymore. Would have potentially died even earlier if it didn't heal, and that's where you can see where that sort of risk comes in. Kashidra can't crit at least. If Kashidra could crit, whew, that'd be a terrible boss fight. Chosen One did crit though. Chosen One actually has a very high rate of crit.
When the 4 divine barriers are dispelled, the power
I think all of the bosses do, like the actual boss person does.
Kumari and Kaya, the guardian deities of light and darkness, shall be released by the twin dragons of Kemu. The chosen ones of light and darkness shall meet, and only then will the accursed ones be granted repose. And man shall obtain yet another fruit of knowledge, but it shall bear the seeds of responsibility.
And there we go, roll credits. So, if you guys have any more suggestions for me, any other challenge runs or things you'd like to see me do, just let me know in the comments or send a message, whatever works. As I said, they don't have to be within the realms of how the game is played in a standard way. I actually quite like challenges where I don't need to modify the game to make them work, but I'm open to those ideas as well. Same is true of Jade Cocoon 2 runs if you want to see any challenge runs of that. Our last one was mostly just a casual run. I obviously did modify the game's code so that we could use timals all the way through. But if you want to see another challenge run of that, or another kind of challenge run of that, I'm open to that idea as well. I may at some point start streaming other games, but I'm not really sure what ones I'd be comfortable doing. I like streaming Jade Cocoon because I played it all the time as a kid. I know quite a lot about the game. I obviously know the speedrun route as well. I don't know the speedruns for any other games currently. Though I'm open to learning them. I just wouldn't expect myself to be a competitive speedrunner in those other games. At any rate. But yeah, anyway. More work to be done on my hacks to check that, or rather to help try and find ways to identify them. And as I said, I'm currently working on Taturus, but he doesn't ever use drain mana. Or it might be he doesn't use drain mana, or it might just be he always uses an attack of my choice, like always Poison Tail, always Fire Attack, or even always Mana Drain. The point would be to controlling the enemy AI of bosses. Then I'll probably look into always critical hit and that kind of stuff. Move on to those kind of things. So let's save on this fresh memory card, just so that we get rid of that one where we reloaded to get a hacked, well, not hacked, sorry, a glitched second Arbitron. And there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. I apologise for the technical difficulties that we had with the sound very early on, and then the game deciding to lag out, and then the game deciding to crash on the wrong warps. As I said, it was very intent on not letting us do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I will be streaming again on Wednesday. I'm not sure quite what that'll be yet, with regards to what challenge run it will be, or if I'll just be streaming any % run attempts, or whatever it is. But that'll be Wednesday, probably at 7 PM, but my life's kind of busy at the minute, so it's kind of hard to stick to a schedule like that. So if for whatever reason I don't stream on Wednesday, just assume something happened and I had to deal with that because it was more important. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys real soon.